In the forest, there is a bird called owl. This owl, it has a good vision and it sometimes it sees at night, which means it has that speciality. This bird, it has a funny texture, a funny figure. Sometimes it looks like an animal or it looks like a bird. It has a beak which is like for the bird, but when you see it at first sight, you may think it is a cat. Now, you can't categorize it in birds, but scientifically it is a bird. This bird was entrusted with power, the power from other birds because of its special character, because it could see at night and it could disguise in anything. This bird had the capacity to rule all the birds in the forest. And indeed, they obeyed him and they respected him. But in return, he could not do anything. He didn't unite with other kingdoms. He didn't bother to search for knowledge, for unity, and it stayed there, just taking itself as a king. This owl could use other birds to eat. During at night, it could use the advantage of them sleeping and could send the tribe mates to go and kill for him, because no any other bird could see at night. It didn't care about the development or cultivations because it could make all the birds to pay half of their harvest. This bird was there to enjoy, to live the luxurious life. But what revealed its weakness was when famine hit his land. When famine hit his land, that's when it started regretting all the action it has been doing. Because instead of planning, it was sleeping during the day. It could not think of any grace, but famine came. It had no option but to bear the situation of the famine. All the birds cried to it because he is a king. But what was the reply? It had nothing to reply. Man, we need something to eat. We need something to eat. Yeah. It had nothing to do. Now, they reached to the point of starting disappearing. And whenever they could disappear, they could tell a messenger. And a messenger would come to the king and say, "Hello, the family of Mr. Crane has gone." They have gone, they have left the kingdom. That is a reply because it had nothing to do with such a situation. People are living. What are you doing? Now, another family came. Another family disappeared. The messenger came. "Hello, my king. Do you know Mr. Coke has gone? Mr. Coke has gone, has disappeared, has also gone, has left the kingdom." This king had nothing to do because it didn't prepare anything. The only response was, Another family disappeared. This time the family of the dove. and were good at planting corns. Oh, my king, even Mr. Davo has gone with the family. Even Mr. Davo has disappeared. Until all the birds left the jungle, leaving him stranded. Even the messenger reached the point of saying, even me have gone, I'm dying of hunger. I'm going. They left him. He had nobody to feed him. He was there stranded until he died of hunger. The moral of the story. Most of the leaders, their capacity, their strengths are revealed during time of crisis. During time of crisis, that's when we discover a true leader. During crisis, that's when we know that really people, this king or this leader loves his people. But if it happens that in crisis your people are crying of hunger, then you know you have been a bad leader. If people are crying because of this and this, you know you are a bad leader. No option, because a leader has the capacity to lead, control, inspire, and make other people do something which is having in vision. Why are you a leader? Yet when it comes to the crisis, people are crying. That's why I like grace. Grace helps us to see many things. It shows that when other countries were developing, for you were there sleeping. When they were discussing good plans, for you, you were sleeping in meetings. Therefore, when grace comes, grace leaves you stranded. When a leader, his people start disappearing, going to other countries to look for something for survival, that is a bad leader. That is a no. People start going to other countries to suffer instead of working, instead of giving them what to do, how to develop their country. People are disappearing, going to other countries. You know what it means? Then you are a bad leader. You are no. Because you have the capacity to take care of your people. Let's see like the situation now in coronavirus, the situation which the coronavirus has brought. Developed countries are crying of the pandemic, but developing countries are crying of hunger. Because they have been in isolation, people survive on daily wages. They survive on the small money they get during the day. Now, when that person does not work, his family is not surviving at all. What kind of situation? Sometimes I imagine how God blessed our African countries, the whole Africa. Because sometimes even we don't need to put fertilizer in our gardens. Everything grow naturally. We have a lot of water, we have a lot of resources. But because our leaders can't unite, they are self-centered, they are egoistic, they don't want to develop countries because they live in fear of people to develop. When people develop, there may be a leader who can overtake. That's the problem. I don't know why do African presidents don't understand the issue of unity. Why? Yes, our colonialists divided us, but I don't know, why can't we wake up and unite? We have G in the outside the country. We have G7, G6. Those countries are uniting, are having common market, common what? But why is it Africa are not coming out to take care of their people? Why is it that the presidents don't care at all? Very few presidents who are really caring. Even those ones who are doing well, they are not encouraging the spirit of unity. Even this crisis could be handled. Why should we always be considered? Because countries, when a country is to develop, even it can develop within 1 decade. But how many decades have passed when we received our independence? Why should people still cry for hunger? Why should the people still go outside to look for green pasture? It's because I don't know what. I don't know why people are created without the spirit of love. Lack of a servant leader, I think, is still killing us. We don't have servant leader. Yes, we still have this commonly used method, even in history, even in it is well known, this the leadership of top down leadership. Because you are high, you use the advantage of being high, you eat the people's money, you eat the whole tax, and the people remain poor. That is a kind of leadership. Yes, it is also applied in other countries, but for them, they develop that spirit of patriotism. How can you talk of patriotism yet people are dying? Because you are concentrating, or your energy is concentrating on maybe there is other plans you do at night. Other plans you do at night, I may bring like concentrating on military, concentrating on security, not on development. In the book of Sun Tzu, The Art of War, he says that any general who gets money from his citizens to feed the military will eventually fail, because the power should be from the people, not from the military. When you make people develop or make people rich, there will be an advantage of you being strong, because if you are surrounded with strong people, you will also be strong. I wonder why these people of Africa depend much on security. And I've discovered some of the presidents make enemies to benefit from enemies, because it is one of the 48 rules of power. Make enemies and use your enemies to develop fame. Some are makers of the wars in order to gain fame. That's the strategy. And that is not good at all, because they do some things at night. They don't care about the people. How can a person cry in his country? How can somebody start crying? Just mere food. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I think of things, I feel like, is it by the will of God that we have bad leaders, or we are the makers of bad leaders? Let me tell you, leaders are from within ourselves, within the society, within the people. Which means to get good leaders, we people are the ones to first change our hearts. What if the Mr. Ouro had good advisors? I think he could have made a good store for food, or to make investments which can work as security. But unfortunate part of it, he selected only the people from his family to keep on hunting for him. Yeah. When you see a president or a leader surrounding himself with only the people of his tribe, only the people of his race, that man is doomed. That man is gone. That man is not a good leader. Because a leader should not have any kind of segregation. A leader should always be there for the people. By the way, purposely we are born for other people. Naturally, everything is not made for its own or for itself. We are made for other people. Okay? I'm here to serve, not to be served. Why is it that many leaders, even when they go to the parliament, they end up going to be served? And sometimes it is reciprocal. When you serve, people will serve, will respect you. Why is it that we live in a state where people are leaving their country, and when crisis comes, people are dying? Now, because of lack of unity in African countries, now they are trying to bring other systems, which I've heard in rumor that there is the way they are going to use people. Why? Therefore, it's time for you, if you are a leader, not to sleep. Always have vision. Always inspire people to act. Always inspire people to develop. Develop people first, then you will develop in the process. Okay? Why should your people cry? It shows your weakness. And you will never be respected among other leaders when your people are crying. They respect you because your people are okay. Okay? And if you don't work on your people, the people will first come to you. If you don't provide, of course they will react. After reacting, they will look for the way of eliminating you or leaving you completely, and you die. You die a miserable death. We have seen people who are dying because of lack of love, lack of service, lack of care, lack of empathy, lack of compassion, lack of selfless love within the people, for your people and for your country. You leaders, wake up. Thank you for listening to me.